It shouldn't require this. But I guess anything's possible, huh? Okay. Let's see here. Positive is definitely on that side. Yep, that's negative. That is soldered in there correctly. Positive is on that side. Didn't free any of those. That's good. That's good. That's a good connection. That's grounded. Yep. Okay. Sorry, I'm just double, triple, quadruple checking absolutely everything. I don't want I don't have to troubleshoot this anymore. I'm tired of troubleshooting it already. I pretty much hate troubleshooting things. Did I count that right? I wonder if I want to make sure I counted that right. That should be 35. So this would be 44, sorry, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. That is 35. That is going there. That is 35. Unless 57 is touching, which it can't be. All the rest of those should be good. That's definitely GG, SMS, whatever is good. Alright, let's try it again. Sometimes these things, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really fought with any of these as much as this one's fighting me. It may just be a defective unit. I mean, I can't say as I've ever gotten one. But, you know, then again, you never know. Could be a defective unit. Who knows? Could just be a defective unit. It's entirely possible. It's as plausible as it gets. Entirely possible. Might be that I'm installing something backwards. It might be that I'm stupid. Could be any of those things. Could be any number of things. So now I'm just getting nothing on screen. And that is really weird. Because I really should be getting something. And the backlight's coming on, I guess, a little bit. A little bit. Okay. Okay. Buttons. Okay? Because you have buttons. And if you interfere with these buttons, thou shalt have a very bad day. So in order for thou too shalt not have a bad day, thou shalt be very careful here. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go that way like I said I was. Sorry, I lied. I'm a horrible human being. Instead, we are going to come up here with this guy. Now remember what I told you about this wire can be a handful sometimes. If you're not patient, it can be a handful because the silicone again won't strip or it won't recede, but the wire is also not solid core. So because it's not solid core, a lot of times it can really be difficult to make it do what you want it to do. So just be mindful of that. because it will challenge you, it will push you, because it's not going to want to do what you want it to do. Now we're also going to take us a green ground wire. We're going to strip and solder him onto two sides of the board. Again, remember, we're not taking any chances this time. We're going to make sure that this thing works 100%. Okay? 110%, not taking any chances. This is not, by the way, a required step. It is just a step that I'm doing because I don't know how to say it without sounding mean, but I'm getting tired of my own console. I tell all my guys that work for me, my motto in my shop, I run a shop for a large factory, is we don't do failure around here. Okay? I say it frequently. You know, I get tired of the we can't do this, we can't make this work, we can't fix it. I don't do, let me stop you right there, Chief. I don't do failure around here. Okay? Not everybody can succeed 100% of the time, but what we don't do is we don't do failure. And if it means that we have to take this extra step right here to not fail, then that's what we're going to do. Because we don't do failure. We succeed, or we blame someone else. No, there's no need in accepting defeat. Now, shy of this board right here actually being bad, shy of that being bad, which is an entire possibility, and I do make room for that, shy of that, though, there is absolutely no reason at all, why this mod should not work. None. And if we take the time and install it properly, it will work. It must work. It has to work. We're going to end up doing a little curly Q here is what's going to end up happening. Yep. That's what's going to end up happening. A little curly Q. Back up here to ground. I am going to grab my other board real quick because I want to check and see if this wheel goes to ground. If this doesn't, I'm not super worried about it, but if this one does go to ground, if this wheel goes to ground, okay, if this wheel goes to ground and that one doesn't, then we know what the problem is. Found it. There's your problem. So the ground on our board was not getting any ground. That's what was wrong with our entire setup, is our board was not getting ground. Now, here's what I know. I know that this potentiometer, and I'm going to look at it under my magnifying glass, is not shorted anywhere. It's tied to ground there. So why is it not? Let's see if it's getting ground now. I doubt it, but let's just look and see. Still no ground. Still no ground. But here's what I do also know. That is getting ground. Okay, so what I did is I went from this pin right here to the ground pad on this. And that is definitely getting ground, but our ground pin here is not going to ground. So what are we going to do about that? Well, I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do about it, because we're smart and capable, is we're going to run a small little jumper wire from here, from our ground, to here, because this is ground. Okay? This pin, so you've got voltage, backlight, ground. Let me make sure I did that the same way here. Yep, that one is definitely ground. We're just going to run our wire straight across and tie it to ground. And we can do that. Or, you know what else we could do? Because we're cool, we could just come from here and run us a jumper up there. And I think, you know what? I think that's a better idea. I think that's what we're going to do. I like that idea better. I have a small piece of wire I can make work. Instead of jumping on that side of the board, we'll just do it on this side. Now, it is entirely possible that even amongst this new development that we've got here, that this still won't work right. It's entirely possible. But as we go through getting this board properly prepped and set up and done, and no more problems and all the rest of it, as we do that, if we uncover any more problems out of this board, we're going to know. Okay? This isn't going to like this, by the way. Let's try a little flux. Not flux remover, a little flux. Screwed that one right on up. Had it, lost it, screwed it up. Messed it right up. Not in love with this. Gonna redo it. Now, let's see. Ground. 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 I'm so happy right now. I think we finally found it. Let me take a break for a second. Okay, I'm gonna bring the camera down just a little bit, and maybe you guys can see a little bit better. And I am gonna definitely flip my hat around backwards this time. Now, back to where we were. VCC. This one has got to go up yonder. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the South, and yonder is the words that we use to describe things. So yonder is what we're going to use. 10 our little wire. We're going to attach our little wire like so. Okay. And we're going to clip our little wire long because we've got to route this guy through the board. We're going to come this time down through this hole. This was the hole, one of the holes that held on the screen that is no longer in use. And again, I'm going to caution you, when you go this way, you can go this route, but we're going to use some Kapton tape here in just a minute. This wire is a little bit bigger, a little bit harder to manipulate, and so we're going to make sure we route him in a way that can be manipulated and held on to and all the good things properly. Because if it comes in contact with your buttons, or your buttons no longer work because your wire is in the way, you're going to have a bad day. And you're going to blame me, and I'm not going to tolerate you blaming me after I told you, do not go this way unless you are going to properly route the wire and to fix it. Fix it, not fix it. We are going to fix this one until it is broken. I'm probably not going to do that. A little bit of solder. We're going to land our wire. Maybe we're going to land our wire, maybe we're not. Nope. Nope, we're not. Not like that, we're not. Not like that. Might do it. Might pull it off like this, though. Okay. Now, if you guys will notice, I have made this wire long enough to come all the way around. All the way. Come on. And wrap. Come on. Gently. Carefuling. Around there. Okay. It's probably a little bit snug, but he's going to be fine. I'm going to hold him down and just re-tack him to relieve any strain. Okay? Straight up and like that. Now, there's a reason that I did it that particular way, and you're going to see in a second, because the next wire that we have to attach is going to be brightness, and for brightness this time, I think we're going to use yellow. Now, you don't have to, if you are not installing VGA, you do not have to install this wire, but we are going to because we're cool and we should, and because the same thing I said originally, if we ever decide that we're going to install a VGA mod on this, this will already be done. Okay? We're going to clip our wire extra long this time. I did. Okay? And we're going to go through this hole that was for our CFL tube. Okay? It's labeled with an FL. We don't care about that. Okay? And we're going to come up and around our board, around our LED. We're going to come around these guys, and we're going to shoot straight across, just underneath the power wire. We're going to nip him off. Now we could, if you wanted to, you can come across here. We may do that. You know what? I like that idea better. I like that idea a lot better, so we're going to. I try to keep all of my wires on this side of the board as much as I possibly can, because the screen can get slightly pinched, and you don't want to pinch your screen. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to yourself. Okay? So we're going to come, sorry, bump the camera. There we go. I am going to go and drop down below, and it's going to be a little tough for you guys to see, but I'm going to drop this wire down below my cartridge connector. Or not my cartridge connector, you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean or not. Down below our screen connector, that's the one we're looking for. Okay. Again, this is not an absolute must on this part. This is not one of those thou shalt. This is a I recommend this because it'll make your life easier. It'll just make your life easier in the long run. You don't have to. It just makes your life a little bit easier. Okay. When you're playing with your wire routing, okay, it's important for you to be mindful of all of the things that you might come in contact with and might end up in your way. To try to anticipate those things ahead of time. What in the... There we go. Except for we stripped too much, but that's okay. We're going to tin him just like this, and then we'll nip him down to size. There we go. It's important to try to anticipate what problems you might run into. You might not run into them. But if you do, and you've anticipated properly, then you shouldn't have any problems. Let me just double check this. Bridged it. Bridged it. Not good. Thought I did. Unbridged it. Definitely not bridged anymore. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit of our Kapton tape. See, I knew I'd remember it eventually. A couple little pieces of our Kapton tape. I'm going to throw away probably X amount. Okay. Put us a piece there. And down here, put us another little piece. Get us a longer-ish piece. Okay. One more slightly longer-ish piece. And then we're going to do the buttons for this side. Uh-oh, curled it. So we can make sure that we've got our Kapton tape. Kapton tape is non-electrically conductive and is also heat resistant. Okay. Kind of got him stitched up in place, and that'll be fine for now. And we can now switch over here back to connecting all of our buttons, 36, 37, 38. And we are going to use white first, because it's the first one that I grabbed. Ow. That was one of those dumb things that I shouldn't have done, but I did anyway. Because this wire is quite a bit bigger around, it can be a little bit tougher to route cleanly and to make look nice and neat. And I say that, it's not really any tougher. It just requires a little bit more thought on your behalf. Not really any tougher, just a little bit more thought. Okay? So this is going to 38. 38 is right there. We've already been through all this. I'm going to speed through it because you guys have seen it. And now you've seen the fix for the black screen, which I couldn't solve, and then I solved because we don't give up. And if I didn't solve it, then I'm going to act like I did and cut away and then not show this video. So if you're seeing this video, that means I actually did solve it, which is, you know, yay for me. If you're not seeing this video, that means I didn't solve it and you don't even know. Okay. I'm going to take another little piece of Kapton tape. I do get easily confused, by the way, when I say Kapton tape and then I talk about Kynar wire. I get easily confused about which one I'm actually talking about sometimes, and I can't remember the name of one or the other. It never fails. I'm just going to put this little piece there, and we're going to come down here with another little piece, stick him on. Okay. And that'll just kind of hold him down out of the way down there for now. That is a long-term-ish fix. It's not a permanent fix, but that's a long-term-ish fix. Ish being the operative word. Okay, now, we can't use green because green's for ground. We've already used yellow for brightness. We used red. Red's for power. We're going to save him. We're going to go with, let's go with black. I'm going to go with black on this one. This one goes to 37 on this far side of 37. Nope, can't go that way. Started to go that way and then changed my mind. We've got a ground pad there that I cannot block. Just double check him. There we go. Like so. And we're going to tin the end of this one and land him real quick like. Okay. And I guess we'll do blue. I guess we'll do blue again for 36, I guess. Since we're running out of color choices all the way around the board. Now I can go ahead and tell you that I'm going to end up going back with my Kynar wire. Let me find 36. Give me a second. I found it. Okay. I'm going to end up going back with my Kynar wire for my bottom of board connections because there is no other way to make this wire is way too big for that, and it just will not. It will never allow me to make the size of connections I need for everything. It's just too big. I don't like it any more than you do, but it's going to be what it's going to be. There's no point in crying over it now. What's done is done. Cool. That's got that side of the board all wired up. I'm going to take a little piece of, I'm not going to route that there. See, I almost got in trouble again. All these bright gold places on this board, or on these boards, that is where the shell casing comes through and makes contact with. And you want to be sure, 100% sure, you do not block those. Because you will pinch your wire and you will have a bad day. You will regret it because it won't work right, or because your wire will be pinched, or your case won't sit down all the way. You will hate everything, you will be mad about it, and there's nothing you can do. So, just pay attention to your routing, I guess is the short way of saying what I was saying. Alright, now, we're back on this side of the board. So, real quick, like what we are going to do is, I do know that I've got GGSMS coming off of 42, and I've got power and ground coming out the other side. Get my little spec sheet handy because sometimes I'm forgetful. Now we can run, and we're going to run our slightly larger wire for our power, our VCC, our ground, and our GGSMS. Because of where they're located, they're on the cartridge connector, and we have room with them. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to go green on our ground wire. And let's do yellow for GGSMS. It'd be like an emoji. Sorry, I've been kind of quiet. I'm getting in the zone here, and I'm wanting to see this thing work. And so I'm kind of focused on what I'm doing instead of talking to you guys through this. I apologize for that. I'll try to do better, but I probably won't. But I'll try. But I make no promises. See, if you under-promise, it's real easy to over-deliver. Right? Under-promise, and then your delivery can be really bad, and everybody will be, well, you know, hey. All right. I'm going to jinx myself here by going ahead and taping all of these right here down. I do a big piece at the end, a big piece of cotton wire, or capped-on tape. I do a big piece, 2 big pieces, 3 or 4 big pieces, I'm not sure. Several big pieces. There's lots of big pieces. At the very end, to cover all of the bottom. But for now, we're going to take several of these smaller pieces just for now, because I'm going to end up wrapping almost all of this in my capped-on tape anyway. Once I have double-checked, I know you guys haven't seen it on this one yet, but on all my other boards, I take on all the ones that actually work. On all the ones that work, I do things right. Yeah, on all the ones that actually work, I take capped-on tape and I pretty much wrap the whole bottom half of the board minus these holes, and that way I am confident that there can be no shorts in it. All right, now I'm going to set this out of the way because we are done with him for now. I've really got to clean up my workbench. This is getting ridiculous. Never fails. It always goes down like this. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Strip him. These ought to all be pre-tinned and ready to go, so I'm not going to shouldn't have to do a whole lot with these. Hardly shouldn't have to count. Really. Because they ought to be pre-tinned. They ought to be the only ones that are tinned and ready to rock and roll. We're going to nip him just a shade shorter because he is way long. Right there ought to be good. That's kind of the beauty of having done this already once, or twice, or 3 times a lady. Is that everything should, in theory, damn near, excuse my language, darn near, drop right in. We've already done this multiple times. So there should not be any problems with anything on this. I have to remember to use YouTube-friendly words, not shop-friendly words. They are a little different. Next. See, I'm being smart now. Now I'm doing this the smart way. You can only fool me once or twice. Voila. Did I just put a wire on here? I did. I have no idea where it went. It came off. It left. Decided it didn't want to participate anymore. I don't really appreciate that. I don't really appreciate that at all. It ran completely away, and I have no idea where it went. Back to the drawing board, I suppose. It really bothers me, because that wire was absolutely... Is this it? Is this it? Is this you? This is you. I found you. You're not getting away that easy. That is too short. See what I did here. Sorry about it. Again, guys, I apologize. I've kind of gotten myself in the zone here, and I want to wrap this thing up as quickly as possible. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, so that I can just stop all the insanity. If you guys watch me up close and not be able to see anything, let me go to high speed and I'll wrap this guy up. Okay. I feel good about all of that. I feel good about all of that. So let's slide all this stuff back out of the way. I'm not going to worry about going super nuts on cleaning anything right now because we haven't got a fully functional console yet. And I am not going to waste my time doing a bunch of cleaning and stuff yet until I see this thing fire up and work perfectly. And that is the point when we cross that bridge. That is the point that I will step back and start actually cleaning this thing top to bottom and making sure it is 100% ready to run. Till then, we may have to go back into it like we've done 47,000 times already. Can't even put the cartridge in. Can't even put the cartridge in right. Just a no good, terrible, very bad day, I guess. Or just poor luck, or I don't know. Maybe I just, like I said, maybe I'm just screwing everything up. That happens from time to time. That happens. Let's cross our fingers. Nothing. Nothing. Well, that's interesting. So I just got finished having a blurry screen, and now I have no screen. Okay. So, you see what happens when you get all excited about something and then it doesn't work, and then you're right back where you were to begin with. So, here's what I know. We were mostly working, and now we are not working at all. Okay, well, that's really, really, really interesting. Okay, so I got no voltage on the board. careful. Let's pull this screen off so I can hook this up, and we can take some measurements across our board in some other places. So let's check. Let's check on our board, and let's see, because the places that I just checked, I didn't have any voltage whatsoever, which I find incredibly interesting. 5 volts there. Okay. So I've definitely got 5 volts there. I've definitely got an LED light. I can see him on. So I have nothing on pin 35. I do have 5 volts here. Okay, let's see if I have continuity to ground. No continuity to ground here. None. Okay. Well, that's no problem. I say no problem. That actually is a gigantic problem because I don't have any continuity to ground, and I should have continuity to ground. I don't know what happened to my continuity. I don't have any ground on this pin, and I should have, but I don't have. So let's disconnect him, and let's check now. Okay. Switch back over to volts DC. Let's see if I've got power now. 5.3. 5.3. So now I do have voltage back. That was incredibly bizarre. Not even sure why that happened or what would have caused that. Have no idea. But, you know, those things happen sometimes. You know, no big deal. Still nothing on my screen. Okay. Duh. Why won't it turn on? Because you didn't plug it up, dummy. Okay. Did I count something wrong? Try it again. Something's got to be off. Because when I left this just a minute ago, I had a flickering screen of sorts. Though it wasn't perfect, it was flickering. I was getting something. And now I'm getting nada. Not a thing. Hey. Well, they all counted out right again. Let me just look at all the connections under the microscope. Okay. So on my list of things that just don't seem to make sense is why this doesn't work. I do have proper voltage coming in, don't I? Let's check. Let's check that. Center pin. Yeah, we've got good power coming in. A little bit stumped by this because I've got power to my board. Everything seems to work the way it's supposed to, all the way up to the point that I connect it, and then nothing seems to work the way it's supposed to. And I'm not quite sure I understand this problem. I'm not quite sure that I understand this problem even a little bit. Tell you what, I'm going to risk the other screen. I'm going to risk it. I didn't really want to do this, and I've tried to avoid doing this, but I'm going to risk the other screen at this point, and find out if it's a screen problem. Find out if we now have a screen problem that we didn't necessarily have before. I'm gonna risk it. I wasn't going to, but I feel like it's valuable at this point to find out, you know, if it is indeed a screen problem that I've got. No. So it's not a screen issue. I mean, if it is a screen issue, I just pop that one too. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side. I've got this one over here. We're going to take our brand new screen and drop him in here. So the screen's fine.